What's up, Porsche fanatics? Will here with Rennthusiast, my YouTube channel centering on air-cooled Porsche 911 ownership experience. And in today's video, I'm going to be taking you on a quick tour of my Recaro Sportster CSs that I have installed in my 95 993. So this video is for anybody considering a change to the seats in your 993 or really any other Porsche. Today I will be covering the details on these specific Recaros, but hopefully the information I'm going to share with you will be good food for thought regardless of what seats you're thinking about or what generation you have. Love to give a shout out first to my buddy Sunil at Zweck down in Miami. Sunil's the guy that I bought these seats from, as well as the Recaros I put in my 86 and the BBS wheels I'm running on my 993. Today I'm gonna give you some walk around footage so you can understand how these seats look in the car. I'll talk to you a little bit about the installation process. I did it myself, and I'll tell you what went well with it, maybe what didn't go so well. Then I'll take you on a quick drive in the car and I'll talk to you a little bit about what it feels like to drive with these Recaros in it. So before we jump into that though, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my channel. Also, go check out my Facebook group, Rennthusiast Air-Cooled Porsche Fans. Let's jump into the walk-around footage. All right, guys, here we are, the walk-around footage. I really want to give you a sense for what these seats look like in the 993. I have noticed that there's not a ton of good content out there on YouTube covering these Recaros in the 993, and so I hope that this gives you a sense for what it looks like. I personally, and of course it's always subjective when we talk about cosmetics or aesthetics in these 911s, I think they look good. You may disagree, but I really do think that the shape and the size and also the colors, in my case, suit the car. It's been quite a journey for me. If you've been following along, you'll know that I've had a couple of different sets of seats in this car. And I would say at this point, I'm very, very satisfied with the way these Recaros look and feel in the car. I installed them myself. It was a bit of a bear to do. The brackets that came with the seats had to be modified a little bit just to line up the holes in the floor to get everything to bolt up correctly. So I will say that there were no instructions for that. So I kind of had to figure that out on my own, which I did. But either way, I don't usually do my own wrenching on these cars, and I will say that I'm glad that I branched out and did it. I feel much more connected to these seats. So functionality-wise, I want to point out a couple things to you. First of all, you've got the ability to tilt the seat forward. I mean, when I'm on my road trips up into the mountains, I definitely like to put a lot of stuff back there. So that's handy to get to. And then, you know, the fact that these seat backs will recline is huge for me. I just don't do well with fixed seat backs. I've sat in pole positions before and they just weren't for me. And so, you know, part of my criteria when I bought these seats was that I needed a Recaro, a sports seat that reclined. A couple other points for you. You're gonna find if you buy these seats that the adjustment is gonna hit the carpet. It's a very narrow fit, and it's just something you're going to have to live with. There's a company called Cantrell Motorsports that they make a little bit of a narrower adjustment that slides onto this, and it's a little bit narrower, gives you a little bit more room. I was not personally super satisfied with how they made it up with the seat, so I decided just to leave this alone. Here are your sliders. Are going to move back and forth based on pulling up on this metal piece here. So fully adjustable. When you go to install the seat, you will, reuse, as long as you're using your normal seat belt, you're going to reuse this receptacle. That's the factory piece, and that piece is going to fit between the slider and the bottom of the seat. Again, this is not an installation video, but if you get into this, you'll start to figure out what I'm talking about. If you have questions, you're trying to install these and you've tripped over this video, just go ahead and ask me in the comments and I'll do my best to answer. So this is the way they look. Would love to hear your opinion. If you own a 993, do you feel like these seats fit the overall look and feel and vibe of the car? Would love to hear your opinion and maybe even your experience if you've run these. So now let's jump into the car and do a ride along video and I'll tell you what they feel like. All right, so any good seat review should include a little bit of a description about what it's like to climb in and out of the car. And as you can see here, you're going to need to be a little bit limber, a little bit agile to step in and over these this side bolster here. Pretty much of a no-brainer, very self-explanatory, but you just do need to know that it's going to take a little bit more work. And so if you're just not into that kind of thing, maybe these seats aren't going to be for you. The first thing I'll touch on before we fire this motor up and head on out is the seat firmness. These are definitely very firm seats, and I personally like that kind of a thing. Over the long haul, when you're putting in a whole weekend of driving, it tends to be more comfortable for me when you're not sinking in. I don't know if you like firm seats, then these seats will definitely be for you. In terms of the lumbar action on these seats, there's no protrusion sticking into your lower back. It's a nice flat seat back. You know, for me, that's definitely very comfortable. If you're somebody who needs lumbar support, then, you know, maybe these seats aren't for you. But if you like a nice, you know, straight seat back, then you need to take a good hard look at these. Something else I'll point out before we start off here is that if you stick with the 3-point seat belt, you're going to notice when you're driving that the seat belt is going to rub on this vinyl and make a little bit of noise. Not a big deal, but just something else you need to be aware of. So one of the most fun aspects of this for me is that, you know, when I'm taking off or doing a quick 90-degree turn, these seats hold me in place. And so I do have a little bit of track experience, not a ton, but enough to have learned a few lessons. And something I learned about track seats, sports seats, is the tighter they hold you in place, the less energy you're having to expend bracing yourself against the door and you know, holding onto the steering wheel really tightly. And so when you put these Recaro Sportster CSs in your 993, you'll notice that you're going to be able to go a little bit faster. You're going to have a little bit more confidence because you're not going to have to focus on holding yourself in place, for example, if you're running the stock seats right now. So, you know, pretty much of a no-brainer. I mean, these are sports-oriented seats, but you got to know that it goes beyond just looking cool. There's a great function between these bottom bolsters and these rear bolsters here. They hold you in place around curves. And so, you know, I'm not sitting here advocating that you need to go out and break the law. That's not what I'm saying. But if you are somebody who really enjoys getting on back roads, mountain roads, twisties, and wants to enhance how quickly you can drive, or at the very least, how much more confident you feel, then these are going to be the right seats for you. Now, what I'm getting ready to say to you is going to be mind-blowing, maybe controversial, maybe you'll disagree, maybe you're going to say that I am crazy, but I want to talk a little bit about how much these seats weigh compared to the factory seats. If you've ever pulled the seats out of your 993, the factory seats, then you're going to know that those things are heavy as hell. I don't know exactly how much they weigh. I'll try to research it and throw that information down in the description for you. But I do know that these Recaros are a lot lighter. I'll also put the weight of these seats down in the description as well. I feel like, and this could just be psychological, real, or imagined, I don't know, but I feel like I can feel the weight reduction in the handling characteristics and the acceleration of the car. The car feels, and it's nominal, right? I'm not talking about huge gains here, but the car feels more agile. It feels like it accelerates faster. And so that's just something for you to know. I mean, you are going to be shedding a little bit of weight. I'll let you know how much in the description. So, I mean, that's it. I don't know if I've missed anything for you. I mean, this is just, you know, basically a short video designed to give you a sense for what these look like and really some top-line observations of what they feel like. Overall, I love these seats in the 993. I think I've finally nailed, you know, kind of a non-stock look that I like, that I wanted, that's going to enhance the way that I like to use the car. And so that's it. If you have any questions or you want, you know, some further information, please hit me up in the comments. Happy to answer anything. And again, if you decide you want a set of these for your own 993, a guy by the name of Sunil at an organization called ZWEC, down in Miami. He's got 2 sets left as of the publishing of this video. If this is the kind of video you're into, air-cooled lifestyle stuff, if you're an air-cooled owner, enthusiast, then this channel is for you, so please subscribe. Hope you've got something out of this video. If you're still with me, thanks a lot for sticking around, and I hope to see you next time. I'm out of here.